Hello and welcome. Before we begin, I want you to pause and reflect on the last time you felt truly confused by someone's presence. The human mind plagues itself with uncertainty. You stand before a woman and you wonder, is this politeness or is this desire? The agony of not knowing can disrupt your inner peace. In the modern world, we are taught to chase, to guess, and to overanalyze. But today, we will take a different path, the path of the Stoic observer. We are not here to manipulate outcomes or to feed our egos with validation. We are here to observe reality as it is. We are here to learn how to read the silent language of nature, specifically the female nature, so that you may act with wisdom rather than desperation. When a woman desires you, she does not always speak it with words. She speaks it through the ancient, subconscious language of behavior. If you are blind to these signs, you miss the opportunity for connection. If you misinterpret them, you suffer the embarrassment of delusion. Today, we break down 7 profound signs of secret desire, analyzed through the lens of psychology and Stoicism. Let us begin. The first and most primal sign we must examine is what psychologists call the law of proximity, or the gravitation of presence. In physics, objects with mass attract one another. In human psychology, desire creates a gravitational pull. If a woman is secretly desiring you, you will notice that she consistently finds herself in your orbit. This is not about stalking, it is about the subconscious need to be within your sphere of influence. A woman who is indifferent will maintain a standard social distance. She will engage and then retreat to her own space. However, a woman harboring desire will look for excuses to reduce the physical gap between you. You might notice that in a crowded room, she positions herself so that you are in her direct line of sight, or she ends up standing next to you accidentally. From a Stoic perspective, we observe this without arrogance. Marcus Aurelius taught us to look at things as they truly are. When she enters your personal space, she is signaling safety and interest. She is lowering her guard. You might find that when you are speaking in a group, she positions her body towards you, even if she is listening to someone else. Her feet, the most honest part of the body, will point in your direction. This is the body's way of saying, I want to go there. Do not mistake this for mere coincidence. If it happens once, it is an accident. If it happens consistently, it is a pattern of desire. She is invading your space because she wants you to invade hers. She is inviting you into her world, waiting to see if you have the courage to acknowledge the proximity. The second sign is deeper and far more intense: the lingering gaze and the dilation of focus. Epictetus said, "The soul is a theater. The eyes are the curtains of that theater. When we like what we see, our biology betrays us. Science tells us that when a person looks at something they desire, their pupils dilate. This is an autonomic nervous system response. She cannot control it. But beyond the biological dilation, you must look for the double look, or the prolonged contact. In normal social interaction, eye contact is brief and functional. We look to acknowledge and then we look away. When a woman desires you, the gaze becomes sticky. She looks at you, you catch her eyes, she looks away, but then, seconds later, she looks back. This is the double look. It is the conflict between her shyness and her desire. She looks away to protect her dignity, but she looks back because her attraction demands it. Furthermore, observe the nature of her eye contact when you are speaking. Does she look at your eyes, then drop her gaze to your lips, and then return to your eyes? This triangular gaze is a subconscious signal of intimacy. She is not just listening to your logic. She's observing the movement of your mouth. She is imagining the physical reality of you, not just the abstract idea of you. A Stoic man notices this but remains composed. He does not smirk or boast. He simply understands that he is being observed with intent. Moving deeper into the psychological architecture of attraction, we encounter the third sign, the phenomenon of mirroring and synchronization. Humans are social creatures wired for connection. When we feel a deep rapport or desire for someone, we subconsciously seek to become like them. This is known as the chameleon effect. If a woman is secretly desiring you, she will begin to adopt your mannerisms, your tempo, and even your vocabulary. If you lean forward, she leans forward. If you speak slowly and calmly, she lowers her voice to match your cadence. If you take a sip of your drink, watch her hands. She will likely do the same within moments. This is not a conscious mockery. It is a biological attempt to build a bridge of empathy. She is signaling, I am like you and I am safe for you. In the realm of Stoicism, we understand that we are all part of the same whole, but in dating psychology, this mirroring is her way of harmonizing her energy with yours. If you are a man of high value and self-control, she wants to align with that stability. Observe her speech patterns. Does she start using slang or specific phrases that only you use? This is a massive indicator of psychological investment. She has been thinking about your words when you are not around, and they have become part of her internal monologue. This synchronization proves that you have penetrated her subconscious mind. You are no longer just an external object. You are influencing her internal behavior. The fourth sign requires you to be an astute listener, the interrogation of the soul, or high investment curiosity. Most conversations are transactional and superficial. People ask, "How are you?" without caring about the answer. However, desire fuels curiosity. A woman who desires you wants to map the territory of your mind. She will not just ask you about your day. She will ask you about your dreams, your fears, your childhood, and your opinions on complex topics. She is testing your depth. She wants to know if you are a man of substance or merely a man of appearance. Pay close attention if she remembers small details you mentioned weeks ago. If you told her you like a specific type of coffee or that you were worried about a project and she brings it up later, this is a critical sign. It means she mentally bookmarked that information. Why would she clutter her mind with trivial facts about a man she doesn't care about? She wouldn't. She remembers because you matter. In Stoicism, we value attention as a currency. If she is spending her attention on the minutiae of your life, she is investing in you. She is trying to understand your values to see if they align with hers. She is looking for the Stoic sage within you, the man who has a code, a purpose, and a direction, so she can decide if she wants to join you on that path. The fifth sign is the removal of barriers and the introduction of touch. Physicality is the ultimate truth. Words can deceive, but the body rarely lies. In a social setting, people naturally place barriers between themselves and others. Crossed arms, a phone on the table, a bag held in front of the chest. These are defensive shields. When a woman desires you, she subconsciously removes these barriers. She will uncross her arms, she will push her coffee cup to the side, creating an open channel between her body and yours. This is an invitation, but it goes further. She will initiate incidental touch. This is the touch that is plausible enough to be an accident, but frequent enough to be intentional. A light brush of her hand against your arm when she laughs, fixing a piece of lint on your jacket, or comparing hand sizes. These are safe ways for her to test the electric chemistry between you without risking total rejection. From a biological standpoint, skin-to-skin contact releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. She's craving that chemical release. A Stoic man accepts this touch without flinching. He does not recoil, nor does he desperately grab her. He remains the rock, steady, warm, and receptive. By removing barriers, she is making herself vulnerable. She is saying, "I trust you enough to let my guard down." This vulnerability is the highest form of compliment she can give. Here is the expanded and detailed part 3. I have significantly deepened the analysis of the final signs and the conclusion to ensure it covers the necessary time depth and provides profound value. Part 3. The tests of character, the gift of time, and the Stoic conclusion. We now arrive at the most sophisticated and misunderstood territory of female psychology. The signs we have discussed so far, proximity, eye contact, mirroring, are largely subconscious. However, the final signs we must explore are often active behavioral tests. These are the moments where a woman consciously or subconsciously measures the weight of your character. The sixth sign is what we shall call the qualification filter, often colloquially known as the shit test or the playful challenge. This is where the vast majority of men fail because they lack the Stoic virtue of temperance, emotional control. If a woman is indifferent to you, she will be polite, distant, and agreeable because she does not care enough to engage with your ego. However, a woman who secretly desires you needs to answer a critical evolutionary question. Is this man strong enough to handle me, and is he safe enough to trust? To find the answer, she will test your frame. She might playfully mock your choice of clothing, challenge a strong opinion you hold, or seemingly disagree with you just to see your reaction. A man of low value interprets this as an insult. He becomes defensive, angry, or desperate to prove her wrong. He fails the test. A Stoic man, however, realizes what is actually happening. She is shaking the tree to see if the roots hold firm. She challenges you because she wants a man who is immovable, an unmoved mover. If you can meet her challenge with a smirk, with humor, and without a shred of defensiveness, her attraction for you amplifies instantly. You have proven that your self-worth is internal, not external. You have shown her that you are the rock against which the waves crash, not the sand that washes away. This dynamic, where she pushes and you hold firm, creates the polarity necessary for deep desire. The seventh and perhaps the most undeniable sign is consistency in availability and the rescheduling protocol. In the philosophy of Stoicism, Seneca reminds us that time is the only resource we can never get back. Therefore, how a person allocates their time is the truest reflection of their values. Words are cheap, time is expensive. If a woman is secretly desiring you, she will violate her own schedule to fit you in. This is the anti-flake principle. In the modern dating market, being busy is the most common excuse for rejection. However, observe carefully, meaningful desire creates time. If you ask her out and she genuinely cannot make it, a woman who desires you will immediately offer a solution. She will say, "I can't do Tuesday, but I'm free on Thursday at 6 p.m. This is the counter offer. If she only says, "I can't," and leaves it there, she is indifferent. If she counter offers, she's terrified of losing the opportunity to see you. Furthermore, look at the quality of the time she gives you. When she is with you, is her phone face down? Is she present? Or is she distracted? Desire commands focus. If she is with you and the rest of the world seems to disappear for her, this is the highest form of compliment. She is investing her life energy into the interaction. Even in the digital realm, consistency matters. Does she leave your messages on read for days, or does she prioritize responding to you? While a high-value woman has a life and won't text instantly, she will not leave you in the abyss of uncertainty. She wants to keep the connection alive because the thought of you fuels her day. The synthesis, reading the aggregate. Before we conclude, a word of warning. Do not look for these signs in isolation. A single glance or a single touch might be accidental. You must look for the constellation of signs, the cluster. When you see proximity, the gaze, mirroring, and the challenge all happening together, you are no longer guessing. You are observing a reality of desire. But this brings us to the final, most important Stoic lesson of this entire presentation. What is your duty now? Your duty is not to become arrogant. Your duty is not to use this knowledge to manipulate or to trick women into liking you. That is the path of the weak. Your duty is to cultivate yourself so that these signs become a natural byproduct of who you are. The Stoic concept of apatheia does not mean lack of emotion. It means freedom from enslavement to emotion. When you spot these signs, you do not lose your mind with excitement. You acknowledge them, you appreciate them, and you act on them with purpose and courage. If you see the desire, lead the interaction, bridge the gap. But if you do not see these signs, if the mirror is empty, have the self-respect to walk away. Do not chase what does not want to be caught. The most attractive trait a man can possess is the willingness to walk away when the situation does not serve his growth or dignity. Conclusion. To summarize, watch for the woman who invades your personal space, who looks at you twice, who mirrors your soul, who investigates your mind, who touches you without barriers, who challenges your strength, and who gives you the gift of her time. These are the 7 signs that the universe offers you to navigate the complex waters of attraction. Mastering this psychology is not just about understanding women, it is about mastering yourself. It is about becoming the kind of man who is observant, present, and grounded in reality. The prize is not the relationship itself. The prize is your own sovereignty and the ability to connect with truth. If this analysis has opened your eyes, if it has given you a new lens through which to view your interactions, then do not let this be the end of your learning. This is a journey of continuous improvement. We are building a community of men who value wisdom over noise. If you are ready to take the next step in your evolution, to understand not just attraction, but the deeper laws of power and philosophy, then click that subscribe button right now. Turn on the notifications so you never miss a lesson. Join us, become the observer, become the master of your fate. Thank you for watching. Walk with wisdom, and until next time.